I have a track record of transparency. I'll make our government open and transparent. We'll do it in a transparent way. I want transparency, I want accountability, so that the American people can be involved in their own government.
President Obama promises transparency in his administration, but there are a few instances in which that claim seems to get a little fuzzy. Here is an entry from Mr. Obama's official Friday White House schedule. Later in the afternoon, the President and the First Lady will attend a reception with the National Newspaper Publisher Association in the State Dining Room, where they will be presented the Newsmaker of the Year award. This event is closed press. When Fox News asked about press access, the White House explained the event was a special access event which would be covered by the participants. Anything wrong with that, John?
You got to think when the person was typing it, they must have felt the irony. I mean, hypocrisy is the unforgivable sin in politics. So whenever anything like this comes up, people want to jump on it.
Then there's a lot of sin going on.
There is indeed.
Well, it's not like we think he's going to be making plans to invade some other country or something at this luncheon.
No, that's true. But look, I mean, he was the one who campaigned against the secrecy of Dick Cheney and detentions and renditions and all that stuff. He got lots of points from swing voters for declaring that he would be the absolute opposite of this, and now we discover that he's remarkably similar.
You know, the thing I was thinking is the person typing it may not have seen the irony. I think you get into that bubble, and what you said in the campaign is different from what you feel, which is, oh yeah, I said transparency, but I know best, and I'm going to communicate directly with the American people and bypass the press.
Right, but let's be honest, this is a small thing. It is
a small thing. And also, come on, all of us in the media get the emails every single day. The White House FLOTUS schedule, that's the First Lady, the White House Vice President schedule, everything you need to know before, during, after. If I opened all of those emails, I would never do any reporting.
Right,
I think this is the most transparent.
If you opened all those emails, you still wouldn't know diddly about what they're actually doing. It doesn't really tell you very much that Obama is meeting with Treasury Secretary Geithner. If only months later you discover that they're giving out boondoggles to AIG executives.
The other thing that came out of Washington this week is that there is this morning phone call, 8:45 a.m., in which a bunch of groups, primarily liberal groups, let's say all liberal groups, frankly, get together on a phone call and agree to become sort of the Washington echo chamber for administration pronouncements. Anything wrong with that, Jim?
Not legally, and not. It's perfectly smart. I think probably the people on the call are smarter than the people inside the White House. Whoever is telling Obama to do the NCAA brackets and make 31 of the 32 teams and all their fans dislike you as a result of picking them to lose. I mean, they could use some of that good advice.
What about going on the Tonight Show? How smart was that?
I think that's real smart. I think the power of the presidency is to reach the American people, and you should use non-traditional forms, speak directly to folks who don't watch the news, don't read the newspapers. It's a funny way of parallel with what he did with Iran, honest to God. He went past, he spoke directly to the people and went past the government. I think that's a smart strategy.
Judy's shaking her head.
No, you know, I think that the last poll, if you remember, John, when you were speaking about the poll of people who objected to Obama saying I screwed up, those are the same people who say, you know, why should our commander-in-chief schmooze with Jay Leno? I think he's beginning to get into the overexposure category. We've seen an awful lot of him everywhere.
It also looks not serious. I mean, you know, he made a joke saying, these guys who were criticizing me, you know, the New York Post said, this is no joke. I mean, I think a lot of people might feel that way. He was out there in California meeting with the governor. He didn't just go to do Jay Leno, but I think that it's tone deaf.
Actually,
I really do.
Strictly speaking, he did go to California just to meet Jay Leno and flew in a couple other events just to make it look good. No, I mean, look, the campaign, the McCain campaign last year referred to him as Paris Hilton, and that was actually sticking until the meltdown happened in September. And I think we're frankly seeing a reversion to the essential Obama, which is some guy who'd rather be glad-handing and talking on TV and cracking jokes than solving real problems.
Oh.
Time for another break. Before we go, last News Watch, we took Vice President Biden to task for giving a speech to a labor organization that had been closed to the press. I mentioned that we, the media, had no idea what he said. Well, guess what? Turns out the Vice President's office heard the howls of protest and did let a few print reporters hear those remarks. The office even put a transcript on the web a day later. The veil of secrecy had been lifted, but we at Newswatch weren't aware. Sorry, Mr. Vice President. We do know what you said. And we'll be back with this.